as we all know, it is time for us to go straight into some issues, national issues, state issues, and of course, deliver on the mandate given to us to inform, educate, and enlighten you this morning on Echo FM 100.7. Welcome aboard, people. My name is Barry Cosmas, the Radio Marshal. All right, we shall begin with political roundup stories, and thereafter we'll go into the headlines, and of course, we'll go into the conversation. But today, we are going to be traveling all the way to Akwa Ibom State, where we are having a very serious matter happening there, as it will affect Akwa Ibom medical outreach and medical services by the medical doctors who are now on a strike in reaction or in protest against EFCC. So Akwa Ibom doctors, the NMA, is on strike due to the brutality meted on the medical director of the University of Akwa Ibom State University Teaching Hospital. He's a medical advisor to Akwa Ibom medical practitioners. So he was brutalized by the EFCC, according to reports. We'll give you details of that story later on the show. And everybody, you just have to listen to this, because it's not just about the strike that matters, is the way and manner EFCC goes about their business when it concerns the ordinary people and when it concerns the people in power, the highly placed people. From records, 4,111 people have been successfully prosecuted. Ordinary Nigerians, popularly the Yahoo boys and all that, people who involved in cybercrime and fraud here and there. About 4,111 of them have been victimized. Have been prosecuted, not victimized, but prosecuted by the EFCC in the court of law successfully. But just about 6 former governors who have looted this country dry, former president, former ministers, former whatever, people in government and all that. Just yesterday, we were telling you that money meant for state allocation was allegedly being, part of it was cut just for politics, and that is complete fraud, and the EFCC is saying nothing to that. Well, they say it's an allegation, nothing has been proven yet. But then when it comes to ordinary man, the ordinary people, the EFCC swiftly, and sometimes without any court order, they keep people there, arrest you in the middle of the night, they go there, harass people, and then you are thrown into the dungeon. Why the likes of Yaya Bello are still roaming free, even have the nerves to be trying to contest another election with all the cases on his head. The EFCC director claimed that he will either prosecute Yaya Bello or he will resign. So what happened to all that? So the EFCC is in the news again. What is the essence of the EFCC in Nigeria? Is it just to prosecute Yahoo boys and then to prosecute the politicians on the pages of newspaper without substance? At the end of the day, the case disappears or lingers for donkey years until it becomes irrelevant. Nobody talks about it. The Senate President Akwa Ibom was on EFCC watch list for as long as possible. He got into the Senate. Nobody has heard about that case again. All of a sudden, he became a saint. He's now making laws for Nigeria and even have the audacity to want to keep people away from being the Senate President. Endorsing everything the president brings to the Senate. These are all measures. How the likes of such people were supposed to be prosecuted by the EFCC. But unfortunately, that was not done. And this is exactly what we are getting here now. So at the end of the day, with the medical director and 4 others that were whisked away after a serious standoff between the EFCC and the Akwa Ibom State University Teaching Hospital there over an allegation of fraud case involving somebody who submitted a medical report they wanted to authenticate. There are also issues. Why would a university of like that go against the EFCC's own directives? They wrote to them on 2 occasions, and then they came to authenticate a medical report submitted by somebody purportedly gotten from the University Teaching Hospital who was stalling and reporting late for that case. And at the end of the day, it became a very big issue. Now, patients in the hospitals, families will have to suffer because the Medical Association in Akwa Ibom State have gone on strike, a protest strike against these people. So the actions of EFCC is now putting lives at stake in Akwa Ibom, and we want to throw searchlight on that. Anybody who dies as a result of lack of medical care by the striking medical practitioners in Akwa Ibom State, who should be held responsible. Just because you want to authenticate a medical report, it led to strike of medical workers in Akwa Ibom State. How did we get to this point? How can the EFCC allow this to get to that point? On contacting the Commissioner of Police in Akwa Ibom State, he said that his men were only there to authenticate the EFCC men wielding guns. How do you go to a hospital with guns in order to do that? Well, according to the story, to be fair to EFCC, they have written twice and they came there to do that, but the hospital rejected complying with the EFCC's request. So is that a crime now for you to refuse to comply to EFCC request without a warrant from the court? So this is all issues. Are we getting to that position where, according to the story, the university director was beaten to a pulp, and the 4 others who were taken away by the EFCC? The workers also locked the gate and said, no, nobody will go in, nobody will come out. But the police came and opened up the gate, and they allowed these people to leave. After being petted by stones, according to the EFCC, they were professional. That's what they said. So if you are professional, who beat up the medical director to a pulp? Professor Ayo, as he's called. So we'll give you more details of the story later on the show. So everybody just hang on that. Plus, we are taking a look at JAMB. JAMB is another issue in Nigeria now. JAMB has reduced the admission cutoff mark to 150 for universities and 100 for polytechnics and colleges. You remember what it took for you to even get a JAMB admission in the late 80s and the early 90s, and of course in the 2000s. Can you remember what it means to sit for JAMB? I recall when I sat for JAMB, I scored about 268. I couldn't get medicine because it was 280 cutoff. Pharmacy and all those courses were about 280. And then somebody has to use 150 to get admission, even though the departments have the right to set their own cost. So my question this morning is JAMB lowering the standard of education, the standard of requirements for university? The claim is that we have multiple universities now and they need students to get into the university. So if you're not qualified to get to the university, must you attend if you cannot pass JAMB? So why is JAMB lowering the standard, and how far does that reflect on the educational standard of Nigeria as of today? So these and many more we will be discussing on the show. So everybody stick around and let me hear your thoughts on that. Join me live on Facebook, on YouTube, and of course on Instagram, so you can drop your comments. Today I'll be taking more messages on our Facebook, and I expect us to send in your messages there rather than WhatsApp. So please, everybody, send most of your messages to the Facebook page, and then we will definitely read them out. So I'll be dwelling more on Facebook instead of shuffling between. I've been taking lots of WhatsApp messages and less of Facebook, but this time around we will be doing more of Facebook. So join me live on Facebook and then drop your message and your reaction to what we've said so far. Over now, time for us to take a look at what the papers are saying. Good morning. Welcome aboard, people. All right, we begin with the Punch newspaper. On the Punch newspaper, pre-primary screening tension mounts as APC panels disqualify 150 aspirants. All right, this is a very serious matter. According to the story, over 150 aspirants from different states have been disqualified over consensus arrangement, and these aspirants are now threatening to take legal action against the party. Is this the beginning of implosion in the APC? But definitely so many of them are disgruntled, particularly in Taraba State, where a senator who has been representing his own constituents, and the constituents said there's nothing to show for it They don't want him again. But the powers that be in the APC and the government said, no, this is the person we want to go back to the Senate. So is it the powers that to determine who will lead the people, who will represent the people, or the people? This is the danger of politics in Nigeria today, where individuals now select people to occupy offices, and in turn, those people pay them homage by using that money meant for the people to pacify them, to grease the palms of the people who put them there. So petitions, protests, legal threats, and accusations of imposition have trailed the ongoing screening of aspirants by the ruling All Progressive Congress across several states ahead of the 2027 general elections, exposing widening cracks within the party over the use of consensus arrangements and disqualification of aspirants. Now, you want people to come and buy forms, you make the money, but you don't want them to contest in the primary. How does that make it? In the name of screening, while investigations by the Punch revealed that aggrieved aspirants in states including Taraba, Kano, Jigawa, Anambra, Benue, Kogi, Kaduna, Ebonyi states, and Plateau are mobilizing petitions and possible legal challenges over the outcome of the party screening exercise. The screening exercise forms part of the APC's nationwide process aimed at reducing the number of aspirants ahead of the party's primaries. However, the exercise has already generated controversy in several states, with disqualified aspirants expected to seek redress through appeal committees. This is also happening in Rivers State as we speak, because right now it is even not clear if the current governor in Rivers State will even get a retained seat, because there's a PDP APC arrangement in Rivers State that is now taking up very serious mandate. Dangote exports 1.66 billion liters of fuel amid U.S.-Iran tension. Makinde may join 2027 presidential race on Thursday. Well, under which party, that is only time will tell. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde may formally declare his presidential ambition during a rally built for the ancient Mapo Hall in Ibadan Southeast local government area of the state on Thursday. The event tagged Unity Mega Rally Ibadan 2026 is expected to serve as the official launch for Makinde's anticipated 2027 presidential bid, alongside the unveiling of a political alliance between the PDP and the Allied People's Movement in the state. All right, this is how the opposition keeps dividing their quotas and making it easy for the APC. Nigeria misses OPEC oil production quota again. And of course, it's also on the pages of newspaper. Medical report outrage as EFCC operatives assault UUTH doctor and workers. And then there is this one. NDC pegs presidential forms at 60 million naira. Primaries hold on May 29th. So May 29th, we shall see if Peter Obi and Kwankwaso, the OK movement, will get the NDC presidential ticket, because there are rumors that the former president, Jonathan, is also looking around. And of course, 60 million is the form. Whoa, me tabo. No be small thing. Oh, me tabo. It don't be, we say it don't be. And of course, from the foreign scene on the Punch newspaper, Trump vows to push Xi to open up China at Superpower Summit. President Xi of China and Donald Trump, we have to go on loggerheads. UN urges probes into deadly Nigeria-Chad airstrike. A mob sets US-based doctor SUV ablaze over false kidnapping in Uyo. Are you serious? Are you serious? Uyo is boiling. What is happening to the medical department? I hope it's not the conspiracy theories we are hearing that is taking shape. Okay, APC knocks out day, 30 governors, 88 senators, 242 reps, 2,620 others know their fate today. That is the lead story on the Vanguard newspaper. On the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And on a rather sad note, fresh details emerge on Alex Ekubo's death as colleagues and friends mourn. Alex Okubo, I had this news. I was like, oh my God, what is happening to Nollywood? Now, Nollywood has lost one of the most promising stars in Nollywood. The Nigerian movie industry was thrown into mourning yesterday following the death of actor Alex Okubo at 40, a very young man, when his life is supposed to just begin. Life, they say, begins at 40, and Alex Okubo is gone. May his soul rest in perfect peace. For those of us in the movie industry, Actors Guild and Directors Guild and all that, please really, really pay your respect to the young man because he has also paid his dues. He's a former BB Niger star and Director of Communications for the Actors Guild of Nigeria, AGN. Boma Aikpora confirmed the news to Vanguard yesterday. He said the actor's body had been moved to Ebony Vaults in Ikoyi. Well, a colleague, Godwin Nadiekwe, also confirmed the death in an Instagram post, writing, "I'm struggling to find the words. This news has truly broken me. Hollywood has lost a red soul, and I'm lost for words because this wasn't the plan. Alex Okubo is gone. May his soul and the soul of all the faithful departed rest in perfect peace." All right. Oh, that was a hard one to take. I can tell you that. A lot of Alex Okubo's fans are all really, really in a sad mood now. So you want to know fresh details about his death? Grab a copy of the Vanguard newspaper. 2027, British government has no preferred candidate, says envoy. Now, so when they talk, come on, fire. So when they talk, when I get preferred candidate, at the end of the day, you will see koro rigging, glitches here and say and do nothing. What colonial masters you are. All right. I beg, I don't want to talk about that one. Let's move on. 27, Dele Momodu warns against over-reliance on Peter Obi. Dele Momodu, what is your problem with Peter Obi? That is what people will be asking. Why is it every news, every time you open your mouth to speak, it's always Peter Obi? That is the question people are asking Dele Momodu. But this time around, Dele Momodu is saying that, speaking on the Right News on Thursday, Momodu said the intense focus on Obi and the ongoing debate over zoning are distracting Nigerians from addressing critical national challenges such as insecurity, poor electricity supply, and weak governance. What figure of speech is that? Has Obi become the distraction to talk? Has it stopped you from talking? Oh, my God. I'm not going to be begged into this zoning brouhaha because I have realized that it is deliberate distraction from important issues that we should be discussing. Well, Dele Momodu, when Peter Obi was in the ADC with you and Atiku and the rest, you kept saying that Atiku was a better candidate. He has left now. You also still will not allow Peter Obi to rest. What kind of fixation is this on Peter Obi, Dele Momodu? You are a very big boy and a big voice in Nigeria, but speaking always about one candidate leaving the other candidate, what does it smack? It smacks of either desperation or total collapse of your own beliefs. Anyway, that is Dele Momodu for you. If you are also part of that, it feels like distraction. What is distracting anybody? Because what Peter Obi is speaking is the same thing you call distractions. When Nigerians, young Nigerians, mostly are clamoring for something, they call it distraction. Why? That is crazy. But then that's what it is. You can grab a copy of the Vanguard newspaper and get more details. Crisis brews in Uyo. APC as aspirants revolt against candidate imposition. APC, gangam, UTME exemption for NCE candidates. Others will double tertiary admissions. That is coming from the federal government. So if you want to go for NCE programs, you don't need JAMB. Just go and write. That's exactly what it is. NCE are supposed to be teachers. Why is it that the lowest qualification is always meant for people who are supposed to teach other persons to become good? And that is what I don't understand. Why is it that NCE, which is one of the lowest qualification in education, today is reserved for teachers. Why is it so? Anyway, somebody should answer me that question. Trump posts graphics of Venezuela as 51st state of the U.S. state. That is the 51st state. Well, he did that to Canada. Now he's doing it to the Venezuela. Oh, boy. Donald Trump, you like trouble. Your name now, Wahala. Tinubu calls for stronger African economic integration at Nairobi summit. UK won't interfere in 2027 elections, has no preferred party. UK envoy is talking. Real Madrid target Osimhen as Mourinho sets term for Bernabeu return. And pensioners in limbo as states fail to activate laws. Oh, me tabo. Dollar to Naira exchange rate today on May 13th. Go and grab a copy of the Vanguard. And finally, before I open it, these phone lines, 2027 presidential election. Opinions divided as fragmented opposition faces Tinubu ahead of 2027 presidential election. The departure of Peter Obi and Rabiu Kwankwaso from the ADC Congress has made the opposition fragmented. Can they stand Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the might of the Jagaban? Kano North senatorial fight ends as Guazo steps down for Jibri. How much then give him? Kidnappers storm Uyo community and abduct one and injure another. Why is Uyo boiling this morning? I don't understand. Every bad news is coming from Uyo. Nigerian borrowing money it already earned. Agbakoba raises alarm over Federation account crisis. Okay, Nigeria borrowing money it has already earned. Grab a copy of the Daily Post newspaper and get more details. On that note, we will open up the phone lines for you to add your voice to the conversation. 0911 20022 0707 454 1014. Those are the numbers to call and be part of the program. Remember, we are going more on Facebook today than WhatsApp. So everybody join me on Facebook as I take comments on Facebook more than any other place today. All right, let's get to the phone lines. Good morning. Who dey my line?
Morning, Cosmos. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Honorable Iyama. Elder Honorable Iyama.
Honorable Elder.
Okay.
World Bank.
Thank you very much.
I will start the intervention from one of the agencies that I'm very, very familiar with.
Okay.
And that is the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
All right.
Now, let me say this. It is an offense for any hospital to issue a letter or a certificate showing that an accused ill or has any medical challenge. And if the EFCC comes to verify, and there will be an attempt to shield out or not to confirm that information, there is what is called aiding and abetting of crime or shielding a suspect. The same thing we have always talked about the police. You know, there is this argument, treat a suspect before reporting to the police or the other and about. Okay?
Yeah.
The EFCC shares the same power. Of course, it's an office of the police. Okay?
Yeah.
And they have what is called a coercive power. But they can be mired by, first of all, writing to an institution like the University of Uyo Teaching Hospital to give them information.
Okay.
Courtesy that on receiving such a letter, they do it to the bank. Okay? Before they seal up an account, they'll write to the bank, please, account number this and this. Can we have the details? And they are obliged. Okay? Just like you have the Freedom of Information Act, where you can inquire even from them if they're investigating me. Now, you can write to them and say, are you investigating on the belief? And they're about to say, yes, we are, or no. So let us be civil with the way we treat institutions. Okay?
All right.
Because if that hospital may not have anything to hide, how do you issue a medical report that twice they have written to you and they came to now on their own to say, okay, maybe if you are fighting to get to us, we are here. Can you give it to us? Then you mobilize your institution.
Well, can you do that without a warrant from the court?
Yeah. What are you talking about? I thought that the EFCC has what is called a coercive power. Coercive power means that if they're on uniform, they don't even need to show you any identity. They identify themselves. They can pick you up. They don't need anyone to warrant of arrest. Let us not make so many things.
Is that constitutional?
Yes, very much, my brother. Very much.
I doubt that.
I'm telling you, an area I'm very much aware of. Okay? I'm impressed with this. Okay? I've worked with this agency in the last since their existence, or even before their existence. I work with the police.
Okay. All right. Thank you very, very much, Honorable Ihama, for your contribution this morning. While he's reacting to the story of Akwa Ibom NMA, we will give you more of those, the details of that, so that we can understand what really transpired in Akwa Ibom State. Good morning. Who day?
Good morning, my own brother, Barry Cosmos.
I greet you.
Barry, can you hear me?
I do hear you. Good morning. Welcome aboard. Name and submission.
How is it, Koma?
Well, I told you she's not feeling fine, so she has to take a rest today.
Oh, sorry. My name is Komodon Padek Chidozengosu.
All right.
And as usual, I call from my hometown, Omowakano Haji, the most peaceful community in Imo State. But let me talk about EFCC. Please, I make bold to say that EFCC has absolutely lost her glory. In fact, they lost it the moment the person that created it, Obasanjo, left office. Why did I say so? EFCC is only selective in their fight against corruption. And that is not how an anti-graft agency should operate. And it did not start today. It started even from the time of the PDP under Jonathan.
Okay.
A lot of billions were looted, and nothing happened. And this time around, they continued. Once you're a member of the ruling party, you have become a saint. It's very, very, very unfortunate for somebody like me. And I want to say that EFCC has served out its usefulness. If it's possible for them to scrap it, they should scrap it. Then secondly, JAMB is actually lowering the standard of education in Nigeria. Because I know what I suffered before I gained admission. I wanted to study law in the university. I tried for 4 consecutive times to get it. I could not get it, even though I scored high points. But they didn't offer me the admission. Then today, somebody can use 100 or 150 to secure admission to the university. It's quite unfortunate.
All right, thank you very much.
God bless you. I'm Padek from Okano Haji.
All right. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Cosmos.
Yeah, man. How about you?
Yeah, I can see that today you are flying solo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry for you are feeling so lonely.
Uh-oh. No, Allah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just means day one
I
each.
got the way.
Yes, sir.
Wait. Mr. Cosmos. It's someone that calls from Uche Street in Owerri.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Cosmos, you can see that Nigerian law and anti-graft agencies in Nigeria are just like a spider's cobweb.
Anyway.
Exactly, they are just like spider's cobweb. The big birds and the big flying animals break through, while little and tiny insects are caught.
Okay.
It's quite unfortunate. That's the way the Nigerian laws and the anti-graft agencies in Nigeria, that's the way they are.
Okay.
Now, about people who always are concerned about Obi. It's not even only Dele Mahmoud. What of Reno Mokri? What of Senator Kongo? What of others? I think they are doing what they are doing out of envy. That's the way I look at it.
All right.
Somebody has achieved what they can't achieve in their lifetime. So that's the way I look at it. I'm out from Uche Street. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Amma. All right, let's go to our Facebook and take some messages right about now. We start off with Dr. Mrs. Sima Olebra from Owerri. Security is not just the absence of war, but more in modern perception, the ability of government and institutions to live up to its obligations to the people. Failure to provide water, shelter, education, employment, healthcare, power, security, justice, etc. to the people calls to question the legitimacy of a government. A government can be failed when there is a government without good governance. When industries are no longer functioning, it is where morality in leadership is scarce and does not positively touch or inspire the led, but remain insensitive to their aspirations and yearnings. How did we degenerate to this level? Thank you very much, Dr. Mrs. Olebra. Up next is Julie Nasike. It says, sweet morning, my eloquent and majestic Bariko. See, repentant terrorists swore with the Quran and we are reintegrated into the community. This is abhorrible. Where is this type of thing done in the whole world? What about the heinous and atrocious crimes they committed? That is why terrorism is increasing instead of abating. When all Nigerians get things right in this country, the politicians that swore with the Quran and the Bible, are they not committing crimes? This is just a way to institute crime in perpetuity. And again, it is almost unfortunate to hear that Atiku has refused to listen to the voice of wisdom to shelve the idea to run for presidency. Why has Atiku chosen to be a spoiler even when it is turn of the South to rule? He should be held responsible if Nigerians failed to rescue the country. Lady Julie Naseke sent in that one. All right, we also have this one from Umpadek. I think Umpadek just called, but he said he's still texting from Umwakane Haji, the oil and gas kingdom. Food basket of Imo State and the most peaceful community in Imo State. This one just there, the advertising village. He says, good morning, Barry and Ekoma. Sincerely speaking, without mincing words, EFCC have served out its usefulness. The commission lost its glory immediately. The person who created it, Obasanjo, left office in 2027. They announced selective in fight against corruption. Once you are a member of an opposition party, your sins are forgiven. That is the gospel according to Umpadek. Comrade Umpadek. All right, thank you very much for that one. Ifeanyi Ejimkoye on our Facebook says from Akwa Ibom, I commend NDC for pegging their presidential form at 50 million naira and 30 million for governorship. It's 60 million rather, not 50 million. I wish other political parties should follow suit and peg their own below NDC prices, which would have helped many Nigerian youths that don't have up to 100 million naira to buy forms and contest. But wait, I thought NDC promised to give Peter Obi the presidential ticket to contest without dragging it with anybody, or does the nomination form pegged for only Obi to buy for general? I need the answer from you, Barry. Well, I don't have that answer either. What you heard, you thought, well, thinking and reality are two different things, my brother. They only invited Peter Obi to join the NDC, but that will not stop. They will not stop people who want to challenge for the presidency. That's definitely not. That will be hindering their own party and opening the door for litigation. Would you want somebody to go to court and say they denied me my own right to contest? So just like what happened to the PDP, when somebody went to court and said no, they refused selling form for me, and that's why I went to court, and that's what led to the whole of Ibadan Congress shelved, and look at where the PDP is today. You want them to do that same thing. They have to open up. Anybody who wants to contest with Peter Obi, go and try. But the issue is that the vote on May 29 will determine who will be the presidential candidate of the NDC. All right, so let's move on. What about if Kwankwaso decides to contest the ticket? What will happen? Obi, the issues here with the current administration is they are turning everything upside down only for their favors. They want, they want to kill everything in Nigeria, judiciary gone, military gone, police, the same EEDC gone with so many badges, A, B, C, and on and on and on. Everything is gone. Then they know that their children are not schooling here, so they must know that their children are not schooling here, so they must bring the education to zero. Senate President is worst thing that happened to Nigeria. Who do us? Where did he come from? What did we do to deserve this? Well, that's the message from this beautiful person. You didn't put in your name. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Barry.
I greet you.
This is Awuja calling from Nekede.
Awuja, welcome aboard, my brother.
Yeah. You see, this EFCC, I think, every Nigerian agency and they do according to their directors. How they direct them is what they will do. Not that they are doing something out of their own initiative. Even the judiciary, as you are there now, if the governor or the head of state says we do that without even getting. So that's what they're doing. Not even the ordinary national assemblies. They do what the presidency wants them to do. So they are not doing their work naturally. If they actually do their work naturally, certain things will not happen in the way they are happening. And they are highly selective. When you are not one of them, they pick you. When you are one of them, you are a saint. Even you are holier than the Pope. When you are one of them. So that's that.
Thank you.
I just even the president, even the governors, they're not human beings.
All right. Thank you very, very much, my brother. Thanks to you for that call. Let's take one more call to end up the newspaper review this morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Barry.
Welcome aboard, Saya.
My name is Herbert Akwa from Port Road.
All right.
On what EFCC did in that teaching hospital, I saw it on television last night.
Okay.
It is not a good one. Yes, we may not stop EFCC from doing their job, but going into a university teaching hospital and shooting, scaring patients who were there already, will condemn it entirely. There are better ways, civil ways you could do your arrest or do your investigation without disturbing the peace of that university teaching hospital. So we'll condemn it entirely, and whoever that did that brought to book. On P2V and Bele Momodu, you see, ripe mangoes will always attract stones from children. That is just the situation here. P2V is the candidate to beat. So everybody is saying all sorts of things against him. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, my brother. And that brings us to the end of the newspaper review this morning. We will delve into the main substance of this EFCC wahala, while the EFCC operatives reportedly visited the University of UUTH teaching hospital to verify a medical report connected to a suspect facing fraud charges in the Federal High Court, Uyo. The fraud charges was that he has duped a lot of microfinance banks, including the University of Uyo Microfinance Bank and all that. And he submitted a medical report to say that he was sick. That was why he had not been to court and all that, delaying the course of the case. Because of that delay, EFCC suspected that the medical report was false, and they decided to authenticate that one. And they sent a letter twice to the University Teaching Hospital, and the University Teaching Hospital did not reply to that letter they sent. And so they went there to confirm themselves. On reaching there, the University Teaching Hospital refused to comply with them. According to the story, that they refused to comply. So this man called for backup. And when the backup came, they caused a lot of pandemonium there, not pandemic, please. The pandemonium was caused there. The cardiothoracic surgeon, a senior hospital official, Professor Eyo Ekpe, was arrested or harassed during the incident. According to the NMA in Akwa Ibom, he was beaten to a pulp, and 4 others were also arrested in Uyo. Why did this happen? You can't go to the hospital shooting sporadically in the air to scare what? There are patients there. Some of them have cardiac issues. They may just die from that. And as a result of this, the NMA, the Nigerian Medical Association in Akwa Ibom, have gone on strike pending when their member will be released. And if somebody dies because of this, would the EFCC say because they want to carry out their lawful duty should lead to people's death in Akwa Ibom State? These and many more we will be discussing when we come back from this break. Don't go nowhere. Don't touch that dial. We are just getting warm up with this story. Plus, JAMB and its own issues. We will take those issues when we come back. Stay tuned. Don't touch that dial. Barricos will be right back. Welcome to the news update on Echo FM 100.7. We are the fresh news people. Here are the latest stories we are keeping tabs on. President Bola Tinubu led Nigeria's delegation to Africa Forward Summit in Nairobi, Kenya, advocating stronger economic integration that prioritizes Africa's growth and industrialization. He maintained that Nigeria was not seeking charity, but demanding a fair financial system that enables African countries to process minerals, refine crude oil, manufacture pharmaceuticals, and compete effectively in global industrial and trade markets. Operatives of the Imo State Police Command attached to the Nekete Divisional Headquarters have arrested a suspected member of the Neo-Black Movement of Africa, NBMA, in connection with an attempted murder incident and recovered a locally made pistol. The command spokesperson, Henry Okoye, stated that the State Commissioner of Police, Audu Garba Boso, has charged parents and guardians to closely monitor and caution their children and wards against involvement in cultism. Suspected gunmen abducted 3 members of the same family after invading a residential estate in Ijebu-Ode area of Ogun State, according to reports. The gunmen forcefully entered the residence, ransacked the building, and whisked away the victims. The spokesperson for the Ogun State Police Command, DSP Olusheyi Babasheyi, confirmed the incident. According to him, the command has intensified tactical and intelligence operations aimed at rescuing the victims of apprehended the kidnappers. The Academic Staff Union of Universities Plateau State University branch has threatened to embark on a total, comprehensive, and indefinite strike if the Plateau State government fails to implement the new salary scheme for lecturers and clear outstanding arrears. The union cited unresolved issues surrounding campus security, high transportation costs, and lack of staff accommodation. It urged the government to act immediately to avert a showdown of academic activities. In the world of sport, Real Madrid have reportedly placed Galatasaray striker Victor Osimhen on their summer shortlist as the club draws closer to appointing Jose Mourinho as their next head coach. Madrid believe Osimhen's arrival would allow Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. to operate more dangerously in aerial situations where both are considered most dangerous. In the world of business, the Nigerian Naira recorded a slight appreciation against the United States dollar across both the official and parallel foreign exchange markets amid improving liquidity conditions and sustained market interventions by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Data from the Nigerian foreign exchange market showed that the Naira traded around 1,373 Naira per dollar at the official market, improving from approximately 1,375 Naira recorded in the previous trading session. The development reflects a marginal gain for the local currency at the regulated market window. On the foreign scene, British Deputy High Commissioner in Nigeria, Gil Lever, stated that the British government had no preferred candidate in the 2027 general elections in Nigeria. The envoy, who stated this while on a courtesy visit to Kwara State Governor and Chairman of Nigeria Governors Forum, NGF, Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, stressed that the British government will not interfere in the conduct of the elections, stressing that her country would be interested in free, peaceful, and credible elections. And that is all for the news update at 10, as brought to you by the news desk of Echo FM. For more information and inquiries, visit our social media platforms. On Facebook is Echo FM. On X is at Echo FM_Were. On Instagram and YouTube is Echo FM 100.7. You can listen to us anywhere in the world by clicking on www.echofm.net. And that is the news update at 10. Thank you for listening. Stay with us.
Echo FM.
Echo FM 100.7, the fresh news people.
Every day,
every hour,
every minute,
and every second,
breaking news occur
from our villages,
in our cities,
new government policies,
the economy,
between facts from fiction,
lies and truth.
We dissect,
we integrate,
we harmonize,
we criticize,
and we bring you all the juicy details.
Live on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. It is Straight Talk.
Straight Talk.
Straight Talk on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri.
Shall I begin? I am your host. I am your anchorman. I am the presiding bishop of this ministry, and I am awesome. My name is Barry Cosmos, the Radio Marshal, the Buruburu One on radio, the Okenze on radio, your big brother on radio. I am the main event, and I am here.
Live on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri.
Are you ready?
All right, good morning, welcome back. Well, when you hear that sound, you know that the traditional program for every society, everybody, everywhere you go. Oh, Jezrobodo, for this month is coming up pretty soon. And it will be holding at Avu Community. Avu Community, you are next in line to celebrate your culture with Echo FM and Imo people, and of course, everywhere you go. On the pages of newspapers, on social media, everywhere you go, Ojezurobodo all the way. And of course, this month, Ojezurobodo will fall at Central School Field in Avo, in the Owerri West local government area, on Saturday, 23rd of May, 2026. So we have like 2 Saturdays between now and then. After this Saturday comes the upper Saturday. Avo community will be boiling and screaming. The likes of our big brother, our former NUJ president, who is at Avo, talking about none other than Fidel Onyeneke, Dr. Chief Fidel Onyeneke, Secretary of Owerri West Local Government. We are coming to your community. I hope you are ready to host us, because if I don't see Chief Fidel, Owerri West Local Government Chairman, I believe you are the friend of Echo FM, and definitely we hope to see you. The Igwe, whom we went to see the other day, a very nice man who has promised to be really help Jezrobodo reach to his community. So everybody in the Owerri West at Avo Community, hurry, gather at Central School Field in Avo, in the Owerri West Local Government. So Avo, are you ready? All right, that is the announcement for Jezrobodo. Everybody, that is on the 23rd of this very beautiful month in May. Guys, are you ready for that one? All right, we also have a missing Ecolak box. A missionary bus driver, Bro Chidi, picked it up, and passengers at Banana Junction or Olu Road at 7:30 to 8 p.m. on Sunday, the 10th May. It was later discovered that one of the passengers left a black and ash Ecolak box. If the box belongs to you, please call 080-321-00019, or you can also just call it again, 080-321-00019. So hurry. You can call or come to Echo FM 100.7 here at Ajoko Street, number 4, here in Owerri, with proof of ownership, and collect your bag. Thank you very much for listening to that particular announcement. Let's move on now to the conversation. Before that, let's take some messages that came in on our WhatsApp, and let everybody be carried along. We start with Felix Nwozuzu. He says, good morning, Barry Cosmos, the presiding bishop of this ministry, and Judge Dawn. Dawn is not here today. Of course, she will be around when she gets better. Okay, Barry, and Nigeria is fast becoming a very terrible country to live in. Attacks on innocent Nigerians from left to right and center, both from the air, from the military, and from the land by terrorists and bandits. This quagmire is becoming unbearable. Barry and Judge Dawn, please tell me where to hide my head. And finally, I want to say congratulations to Mr. President for seeking another loan, and congratulations to these rubber stamp senators for approving the loan. Now we know Imakwa, what is Tinubu and his APC government agenda is. Thanks, Barry. Here, I rest my case. Thank you, Felix Nwozozo. Barry, happy morning. I have said it that EFCC, ICPC are arms of APC for recruiting criminals into the party. So they don't know how to manage decent people. We are gradually becoming an animal farm, and the situation is worrisome. My warmest regards and prayers for Don George Akoma. The People's Elder has spoken. Thank you very much, the People's Elder. Please, let's go and have this conversation right about now. But I think another message just dropped in. Let's just get the one. Sabari, good morning. This one, you are talking like this. I don't understand, or is it because your wife Akoma no come back today? Laugh na me. Mazi Onyeka. Mazi, make a no hala. At the holla, you say at the cry. No be smart thing, no worry. She will be back. She will be back. Okay, she will be back, no problem. Make her just stay alone today. No yawa. All join. May she get well. Okay, let's go to the nitty-gritty of the program. Today, we start off with the case at Akwa Ibom. I've already given you most of the details, but the story goes that the EFCC went to Uyo to verify a medical report which turned in sour. Well, the outrage has followed the alleged assault and arrest of 4 staff members of the University of Uyo Teaching Hospital, Akwa Ibom State, including the Deputy Chairman, Medical Advisory, Effiong Ekpe, a professor of cardiothoracic surgery, during an investigation involving the verification of a medical report submitted by a fraud suspect. The incident followed a visit to the hospital by operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on Thursday. Well, that was on Tuesday, yesterday, reported that the EFCC operatives arrived at the hospital premises in the afternoon and attempted to arrest a staff member, leading to resistance from workers and other hospital personnel. Eyewitnesses alleged that the operatives later called for reinforcement and that additional officers fired shots into the air to disperse workers who gathered at the scene. Now, inside hospital, with a fire gun to disperse hospital workers. Inside hospital, EFCC, inside hospital, where they say silence, no noise. Even when you're talking, they say, shh, patients are sleeping, patients are resting. You carry gun, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta in the air. Inside hospital. Una head correct? Is that the only way you can operate EFCC? That is what worries me in the whole of this matter. It doesn't matter whether you are there to do lawful duties. Must you use unlawful actions? Firing gun inside the hospital. I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty of certain areas, but this one is wrong. You can't do that. There are little kids in the hospital, or you are assuming that nobody is in the hospital. These were patients with critical incidents. Now you have arrested a surgeon. Probably he's scheduled to do surgery the next day. What will happen to the person? These are all issues that I don't know if we're doing your job, you don't understand that the next person needs to do his own job. That's where it gets all wrong. Then we'll continue with that. According to the Punch newspaper, operatives eventually took away Ekpe and 3 other staff members. Some persons were reportedly injured during the incident, while phones were said to have been damaged as workers tried to record the scene. So if what you're doing is your lawful duty, why are you breaking people's phone for trying to record what you're doing? So the world will not see what you're doing. Now, this is where it gets messy. Is that your lawful job to destroy people's properties? For filming what was happening, is there any law that prevents anybody from filming what happens and show it to the world? These are questions I'm only asking. Is there any law for that? Because every time the police, EFCC, or anybody, military or anything are doing something and you try to record, is there a law preventing that so people would know? I've been searching, I ain't seen one. But if there is one, please let me know. We stand corrected. We stand to learn every day. So that is the question I want to throw out there. Why damage people's property? Is it part of the lawful duty? Moving on. In a statement obtained by Punch newspaper Metro on X on Tuesday, the EFCC admitted that its operatives visited the hospital to authenticate a medical report submitted by a suspect standing trial before Justice M.A. Onyetunu of the Federal High Court in Uyo over alleged fraud involving several microfinance banks, including the University of Uyo Microfinance. So you can see now that somebody is trying to do some cover-up against the EFCC. So who is responsible for that cover-up? When I arrest that person. Where the suspect had protested a medical report or presented a medical report which required authentication by the UUTH, which is the University of Uyo Teaching Hospital Management. The commission wrote 2 different letters dated March 11, 2026 and April 20, 2026 to the hospital management to this effect without receiving any response. The agency stated. The anti-graft agency noted that its investigating officer later visited the hospital to follow up on the request, but still received no response. This is where the matter became bad. As a last resort, operatives of the commission visited the chief medical director of the hospital on Tuesday, that's yesterday, to make further inquiries, only to be locked in with false alarm and subjected to an unprovoked attack by misguided staff of the facility who pelted them with stones and other dangerous objects, the statement added. Now, this is a statement from the EFCC. That's what the EFCC said that happened. The EFCC also alleged that the hospital management shut the gates against its operative despite intervention from the police. Police authorities in Akwa Ibom State advised the CMD to open the hospital gates to enable the operatives to exit the premises peacefully, but the entreaties were turned down, it said. The agency insisted that its operatives acted professionally and did not disrupt hospital activities, and also worried that obstructing lawful investigations could attract legal consequences. Meanwhile, medical doctors and health workers at the hospital have declared an indefinite strike over the incident. So this is what the EFCC said. But the story goes that the chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association in Akwa Ibom State, Dr. Aniekan Peters, reportedly directed doctors across the state to suspend services, while the joint health sector unions also announced a total shutdown of hospital activities in protest. Speaking on the development, the public relations officer of the NMA in the state, Dr. Gabriel Eyo, described the incident as an attack on the hospital and its workers. I just want to give you all the story. Well, in the early hours of this morning, that's Tuesday, masked men wearing EFCC jackets stormed into the hospital premises, walked into the office of the deputy chairman of the Medical Advisory Committee, Professor Effiong Ekpe, and beat him to a pulp, Eyo alleged. That is what now the NMA announced, saying a total different story from what EFCC is peddling. So that is exactly the story. They dragged him like a common criminal, where members of staff, students, and other health workers tried to resist them. They shot sporadically into the air and dispersed the crowd with tear gas, he added. Eyo said Ekpe, a professor of cardiothoracic surgery, was allegedly injured during the incident. Whether he did, whatever he did, there is a due process for this kind of a thing. Even criminals are not treated this way. The only thing that should have been done would have been to send an invitation, which was not done, he stated. He said that the incident was traumatic for workers and patients, noting that the NMA had begun an indefinite strike in protest. Well, let's end the story there. Two things quickly. One story from the EFCC, the other story from the NMA. Which one is true? As a story and as a writer, let's take a look at what EFCC said and discover who's lying. All right, according to the EFCC, they said that as a last resort, the operatives visited the hospital chief medical director to the hospital Tuesday to make further inquiries, only to be locked in with false alarm and subject to unprovoked attack by misguided staff, leaving in conspicuously missing the issue of dragging the medical doctor and thoracic surgeon, left that one out. Left the issue of shooting sporadically in the air in a hospital. Left the issue of tear gassing the students patients and staff of the hospital that was conspicuously missing in the report on a statement issued by the EFCC. As I said, it's a lawful duty. This is where, managed statements are very, very wrong and misleading to the people that believe they did their job. Yes, you went to do your job. Nobody has the right to say no when government officials come to ask questions. You have to answer them. Okay, according to the NMA, you should have invited the university to the court to come and authenticate that. They didn't do that. Or invited an invitation, whether to EFCC, they would have come there. They didn't do that. So that now asks, what was the content of the letter? Why didn't the hospital respond? Is the hospital covering something? These are questions that need answers. On the hospital's part, you cannot reject or refuse to respond an inquiry from EFCC over a suspect who used your own hospital to delay trial in the hospital from March to April, March 11th to April 20th. That's nearly a month of letters, and they came around. All you needed to do was to respond and give them the answers they needed. Whether you issued it, whether it's authentic, it would have solved all this mayhem. EFCC, you come to a hospital, the hospital refused to answer your question. What should you do? Should you resort to beating, tear gassing, shooting sporadically in the hospital? I don't know better ways of handling these things. So these are issues that we need to speak. EFCC acted wrong, the hospital acted wrong. And now, because of these two people, patients are at the receiving end of the strike now. If people start dying in the hospitals due to neglect by the hospital, due to going on strike in solidarity, is that one man better than the rest of the patients in the hospital? That's another question. So this incident is not just about the EFCC, but the hospital themselves. What the hell are you doing? So let's bring it out. We put it out there for you to add your voice to the conversation. So let's just take the next 10 minutes and get reactions. Please, I prefer you send in messages so that we can take as many reactions as possible. The calls may take a little while, but everybody, you got just 1 minute to react to these before we move on. Hello, good morning. Welcome aboard.
Hello, good morning, Barry Cosmos.
I greet you, sire.
How are you this morning?
Great. Quickly, 1 minute.
Thank you. I'm Prince.
All right.
My brother, you and I can agree that the way the Nigerian law enforcement agencies discharge their duties is less to be deserved.
All right.
Yeah. In no occasion will you go to a hospital and start, shooting gun or whatever, causing mayhem, embarrassing people. Hospital. A lot of sick people are there. A lot of maybe hypertensive people are there. Supposing somebody dies there, they will also claim that nobody died. They will even deny going to that hospital. That is what we used to see. Yes, they will deny it, that they have never been there for the first time. A lot of cases like that have happened, and you and I can agree. What
all right.
was the response?
Thank
Having
you.
said so, my brother, in a nutshell, the issue of JAMB. You see what is going on in Nigerian educational system today. JAMB, what do you want them to do? What about our senators that have maybe agreed that even though somebody, comes with a fake certificate, that is not a crime? It's not a crime.
Thank you very much.
Why will one kill himself?
Thank you. Let other callers break.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. 1 minute, please. Name and submission.
Yeah. But ordinarily, 1 minute is not enough for me.
1 minute, please. Now, 1 more minute. Everybody get today.
It's okay. My name is Kachison Ekwa. I am calling from my community of in the West local government. Yeah, since I have 1 minute, let me just say that our security agencies should improve in their discharge of their duties. The last time we saw what happened in Delta State, and now look at this. Do you know that in several crimes like America, the police, they have body cameras on them. Are you aware?
Yeah, I'm aware.
So that whatever they are in the detail of their duties, they are being monitored. So if Nigeria as a country can improve to that level of having body cameras, it will make our security agencies to be mindful of the detail of their duties. But for what happened at the hospital, it is highly regrettable and condemnable.
Thank you very much. All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Barry.
Good morning. Welcome aboard. Name and submission. 1 minute, please.
Yeah, Kenneth is my first time caller. Actually, the question I wanted to ask is, if this table is turned around, for example, when maybe we do go to the government officials to ask for information, like the Freedom of Information Act and all that,
okay,
and they refuse to give to you, when you throw in violence and start fighting the people, what do they say the civilians do? Is it because they have arms? This is barbaric. Nice day, Barry.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the family, my brother. You didn't get your name? All right. Okay. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Barry.
I greet you. Welcome. Name and submission.
Procedure from Adadu Street away.
All right, 1 minute, sir.
I just want to go straight to the point.
Okay.
My own is this: where two elephants fight, the grass is judge a consequence. And one thing should be bear in mind is like you as a father, and you ask your child to do something for you, and you refuse to do it. I'll stand at you, looking at you. You will prefer I know if the child has something within the skeleton.
Okay.
That's just what the EFCC people used to be doing this time around. But because most of these big men, most of the time they prefer when they're invited. I don't know what they say is true. When they're invited, you say they will go and answer and save the poor people from stress. They will not do it until it will result to chaos before we begin to blame this one, blame this one, blame this one. And the doctor himself, you know that hospital is a delicate place where he shouldn't allow anything violence to happen.
Yeah.
And he put every necessary measure to go and see these people before they start to do something. Because I see it as that it's not, I don't know, but I begin to see how it can just be that the EFCC came inside the hospital and asked the director of whatever he is to follow them and refuse. And they started, something must trigger that violence.
All right, thank you very much.
Let all these big officers in different parastatus respect themselves for us to live.
All right,
God bless.
Thank you. Okay, on our Facebook, we have this message from, it says, it's Ahunwa John Easy. It says, Honorable Ahunwa John Easy, DJ Easy, from Nkalu Ifakala Mbitoli Local Government. Good morning, Barry. And the angelic voice in the studio, Miss Dawn Barrio. I want to ask whether EFCC is not seeing all the financial misappropriations in the present-day government. For instance, a situation where the court ruled that local government allocation be paid directly to them, but today the reverse is the case. EFCC is only strong when it comes to deal with the common citizens. Thanks and have a nice day. God bless you. Dixon Mike Siri Sale. Please connect me. Where they connect you go now? Okay, my connect you give SM. SM, they want my connect to. All right. Julie Nasike says, sweet morning once again, my eloquent and majestic Barry Kosi. This is up and down, cut off mark by JAMB and subsequently by the universities, all boiled down to telling us that the standard of education in the country has fallen. The process that produced this JAMB government or JAMB candidate is faulty. The government is answerable to these people or these problems we are having in the falling standards of education. The foundation is getting weaker and weaker by the day. Hear what the federal government is now saying about NCE and West Africa Examination Council. It is not to further reduce the quality of teachers. As someone said here, all the facets of life in this country have been destroyed, including education. This is not deplorable. This is most deplorable and unfortunate for our country. Don't mind the EFCC and their selective investigation and arrest. God will judge them. Extend my warm regards and speedy recovery to Don George. Is in Lady Juliana CK sent in that one. Thanks, ma'am. Okay, let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning.
Hello, buddy. Good morning to you.
I greet you, sire.
My name is Chief Jude Ubad, and I usually come from Aaron, this of the State.
All right.
Nobody two wrongs, they say, can never make a right.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate that the crop of security men we have now, including EFCC personnel, do not actually understand their rule of engagement. Otherwise, there is no reason why the scenario that played out in that hospital, ought to have taken place.
Okay.
It is a very legal ways of doing things. If you want to get an officer as a public servant, you send an invitation for the person to come. And in the event that the person refuses to come, you can actually go to court. That is how to do things. You don't go there to begin to cause chaos, particularly in a hospital environment where so many sick people are available. And anything you do there can even affect people's health. So if these people had actually understood their rule of engagement, they shouldn't have gone up to that stage they did. It's unfortunate. And look at now.
All right.
Nigeria Medical Association has called for a strike action there.
Thank you.
At the end of the day, who is to be blamed?
All right.
I think the officials of EFCC and the security agencies should train their personnel very well, particularly on the rule of the engagement.
All right. Thank you very much, Chief. Thank you very much. All right. Good morning, Barry Cosmos and all Echo FM family. I'm Afuego Chinedu from Umakalinaze. Barrio, what do you expect in a country that doesn't obey rule of law? All right. What is happening? I've not heard from the senior citizen or Karikari for a while. Are they okay? Please, somebody reach out to these beautiful, wonderful souls and let's hear from them. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Chief, Comrade Efag, I was just going to ask about you. I've not heard about you, too.
because I'm not allowed to talk.
Oh, Jesus. Sorry. We're going to fix that soon. Don't worry. I will get dedicated channel for you and the elders. And I'll add, what's his name, the youngest elder now, who had just joined the Elders Council. Honorable Ngozi Ihoma. Yes, he has joined the Elders Council.
Well, let me talk fast enough.
All right. Don't worry, for you, 2 minutes. Carry go.
The EFCC has no defense in what happened.
Okay.
Udobaja has reminded them
to
go to call by arresting officers. If an officer is wanted, you don't go direct to him. You go to the head of department and tell him this officer is wanted for this reason. He may permit you to take him immediately, or he will say, we'll bring him to the office.
Okay.
So it's not something to go and show muscle and say this and that. Because just like you are running an establishment there now, police move in and want to take one or two away. Every other person will be concerned. And they can lead to misbehavior. But if they come and report to the professor that they want this person or the station manager, the station manager will say, okay, we don't want him to be embarrassed here or this. We are bringing him to your office. Because equally, people who want to kidnap people can come with police uniform and say they are police, they take the man away.
Yeah.
And so it's not done. They did it the wrong way. If you write a letter and they don't reply, to whom did you write the letter? Is it the people you went to harass? If you wrote to the head of the department and he didn't reply, you can get Pina to bring him to court.
Okay.
Or you can report him to the ministry supervising. So let me leave that. Now coming to JAMB. Haba. It was discussed in one of the radio stations. And I was happy that the man introduced well, even though there were areas he was summarized. But somebody telephoned him to say the correct thing, even though the moderator didn't pick it up because they had already had a bias. JAMB is not set up to set educational standards. JAMB is a competitive exam. In competitive exams, you are not setting standards. You are simply saying, what do I do to shortlist people? It is in academic exams you set the exam. All the people who take JAMB are assumed to be good materials for the university. So they are not testing them who is good material or bad material. And that is why they are saying, for things like education, where many people are not coming, they don't even need to do the exam. I hope I'm being clear.
Yeah.
So when people start imposing what a person is not supposed to do, they misjudge him. And that is why I think our people should listen more in areas that are not clear to him.
Okay.
Academic exam, to talk about standards. Competitive exam, and to illustrate with their department again. If you want to recruit staff there, and only one person come, do you need to set exam for him? If 20 people come and you want only one person, you can set, you try to do something to shortlist them.
All right.
That is all JAMB is for. And that is why the school certificate exam takes up many days. But JAMB is done only in one day. They only try to choose people. People who don't do JAMB can still do well in universities. All people who come and qualify, they are simply shortlisting and selecting.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Comrade Fayagba, for your contribution. We had to give him enough time. He has not been able to get to our scenes for a while now. All right, Daddy Joe from Ogbako says, Chief, I greet you. EFCC is really political in Nigeria. What happened to former governor of Kogi State and the rest? As security operatives will never learn. Always lawless with the law. Even the medical personnel are not left out with what happened. For Christ's sake, shooting in hospital environment? Let Nigeria not happen to you. Thank you very much for your contribution. Good morning, who dey? Hello? Hello? All right, we lost that one. This one says, good morning, my manest man, Mr. Barry. I am Mr. Wisdom Ugochukunyere Chimereze Iwala from Ngokpala, LGA in Imo State. There is no way you will look at that incident that happened at Akwa Ibom via the EFCC invasion will turn out to be a free and fair arrest of invitation, knowing fully well that they will definitely do everything to defend their agency. Nigeria 1 week, 1 APC. Oh boy. All right, this one says, good morning, Sabari. Trust from Owerri. Under Nigerian law, agencies like the EFCC can legally make arrests in places like hospitals or schools if they have lawful grounds. However, they must still respect constitutional rights. No excessive force, intimidation, disruption of medical care, or degrading treatment. So the issue is not just there where the arrest happened, but whether it was carried out professionally, lawfully, and humanly. Please, can someone check up on Chief Bright Ago from Obosima? I haven't heard his voice in a long time. Have a nice day, Barry. Yeah, thank you. That's another man I've not heard his voice for a while now. Thank you for that beautiful reminder. Chief Bright Ago, if you're listening, how are you? Are you okay? Good morning.
Good morning, Barry. Have you heard my voice for a long time?
Steve, what's up, man? Good morning. Welcome. Your voice is scarce too. No, Allah.
Okay. Okay. Barry, my name is Steve Ozem, I'm calling from Owerri.
Okay.
You see why I am worried about the situation or the topic we are discussing this morning about what happened in Akwa Ibom Hospital. It's a true reflection of the type of government we have now. You won't tell me that EFCC officials do not understand that they didn't go through training to understand where they're supposed to use firearms and where they do not supposed to use it. Just like Comrade Fireback said, when has it become improper for an institution like EFCC to write to an individual? A medical doctor is somebody who belongs to the Nigerian Medical Association. There are so many ways you can get at him. He can't run away. So why don't you write him, invite him and say, come over. Or you write through the Nigerian Medical Association, or you write through the hospital where he's working. Invite him. If there is any need for you to go to the hospital for arrest, do you have to use the firearm? Do you understand the condition of the patients who are in that hospital? That the single shot can make a man who is under intensive care to pass on. So if you make people to die in the hospital where you went to arrest a medical personnel, have you actually done Nigeria any good? So what I'm saying is that it's just a reflection of the type of government we have now. Look at what happened in Delta State the other day, where a policeman shot a citizen openly. And up to now, I didn't hear, even though Inspector General of Police made comments and then arrests and all that kind of stuff. But the spokesperson for the presidency, I didn't hear him say anything about it. By now, that EFCC officials that went to you, we would have heard that somebody was invited, somebody was interrogated. Why did you have to exhibit this kind of behavior? But nobody is asking questions. Everybody is interested in who is going to become the next Nigerian president. Politics is all we do in Nigeria now. So it's worrisome that the life of Nigerians are no longer protected.
All right.
I think government has to do something about that. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
All right. Let's use the last 15 minutes of our program now to deal with the issue of this JAMB. The JAMB matter has become a very, very serious issue in Nigeria because before, JAMB cutoff mark 250, 200, as the case may be, 180, it reduced to 180. Now it's now 150. For God's sake, that is what is happening. Is this a proof that our educational standard is falling, requirements are falling, and why is JAMB doing what they are doing right now? Well, initially they said there were fewer competitions for people to get into the university. There were fewer universities. Now there are universities everywhere, and there is more need for more admissions to the university. So JAMB is now giving more people admission, leeway into the university. Well, according to 2026 minimum cutoff marks for universities is 150. Colleges of nursing sciences is 150. Polytechnics and monotechnics are 100. And the colleges of education and colleges of agriculture, no UTME score required at all. You don't need to write JAMB to enter College of Education and Agriculture. So you can just walk in after your secondary school and do your exam. The minimum admission age is now 16 years, not 18 years as was required before. A lot of parents went against that because they have some prodigies, some people who start school early and stuff like that. So why the requirements are being lowered, the argument by JAMB is against the reduction, particularly the exemption of education agriculture students from UTME, aims to encourage enrollment in these sectors, but critics see it as an alarming decrease in standard. Widening access proponents argue that the cutoff marks are merely a flaw to allow more student access to higher education, as many qualified candidates cannot secure space, especially given the limited capacity of public institutions. And reflecting reality, supporters believe lower scores account for the poor quality of secondary education and unequal access to resources, suggesting that raising this cutoff without addressing foundational education would only punish underprivileged students. All right. So many reasons they gave. But my take is, if you go to IMSU today, there are battalion of students who have nowhere to stay. No hostels, no seats to sit down during lectures. No hall. When they want to write exam, they write exam in streams. These people will write today, the same department will write, that breeds corruption, whether you like it or not. If you go to Futo today, the glory land is no longer the glory land as it used to be, because this same scenario in IMSU is happening in Futo today. Alvan, the same thing. Now, we have more people in the schools with less facilities for them. Is that not lowering the level of education? We have a lecture hall packed with nearly 2,000 to 3,000 people. 500, 1,000 in one hall. Can one lecturer's voice take on all those students? That's why you have students in class, they are in the hall, but they are not in the hall. They'll be gisting because they can't hear the lecturer. This is what is happening in our educational standard. And then we now deliberately reduce the level of scores. Even though universities have a quota they can admit, but when so many people meet up the cutoff, what do? These are all issues. Even though departments at schools have a right to say, no, for this department like medicine, surgery, pharmacy, and the rest of them, you need 250, 280, 200. Now, the big question is, how many people score 250 in JAMB these days? So when you say 250, nobody comes up, or 3.5 people come. What remains? You lower it again. Is that not continuous, like putting people not to strive to hit that JAMB cutoff? One of the motivating factors for a student is that JAMB say, I must meet 250. So you study hard. And then you study so hard to make sure you get 250. Even if you miss 250, you get 240, 220, 230 as the case may be. And then somebody says 150. What are you preparing so hard for? Is that not a means to make students dull and refuse to even study? After all, it's 150. If I get 20 here, 50 here, 30, I'll make up 150 from 4 subjects. Now, this is exactly what is diminishing the interest of students to read. And after doing that, the schools will now come and have aptitude tests again, all to make money. So what is now the essence of JAMB? Do we still need JAMB in this country? These are questions. So let me ask your opinion briefly before we go. Let's take 1 or 2 calls. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's you.
Yeah, this is Awuja calling from Nekede.
All right, Awuja, go ahead.
You see, JAMB, like you were saying, JAMB does not announce the cutoff before the exam, then announce cutoff after exam.
Why?
Yes, because they have studied the score line and know that if they say 250, many people will get it. That is why they come low, because they know that many people will not get it. And I think with what is going on now, that shows that the educational sector is falling on daily basis. Then, and obviously, it will, time will, you know that some states, sometimes they say this state this, this state this, this state this. That is when they study and know they fall in that particular state. Then, and it will continue. There is no time, sometimes 20 maybe they jump something. Cut off. Sometimes, mark it, Barry. Mark it before now, between now and the 10 years coming. Jump cut off maybe 20 or 30.
All right. Thank you very much, Awuja. Kemini Inse says, good morning, my friend Barry. This incident is condemnable. The 2 wrongs cannot make a right. Now, no innocent people are going to suffer because of this tragedy. May God come to our rescue. Kemini Inse from World Bank. Thank you very much, Kemini, for your gracious, wonderful point there. And Osike Wisdom says, gracious morning, distinguished Barry Cosmos, one. Honestly, you are doing a very good work. Right on. Pastor Wisdom and Osike watching you live from Port Harcourt. Thank you very much, Pastor Wisdom from Port Harcourt. We take another caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Barry Cosmos.
I greet you.
I got once back concerning the issue I'm discussing now.
All right.
Well, when we talk about the educational system in Nigeria falling down, the truth is not far.
All right.
The reason is that even the institution as it stands, most of the institution has nothing to write home about in terms of materials with which the students can use to learn. And as you can see, just like I remember when we were growing up, secondary school then was like the university. And it's not a lot of people could afford to train their children in secondary school, let alone university. But as time goes on, you see that even the poorest of the poor makes effort to make sure that his or her children goes to primary and secondary school at least. So it is in universities now. The university is almost becoming like a secondary school where everyone wants to go. And if the JAMB cannot do something to accommodate as many, it means that a lot of people will be dropped, and some certain things may happen. So let it be that they are doing favor to some certain people.
Thank you
like
very much.
FI says that it's a competitive exam, it's not academic exam, and for that, what they do is good.
All right,
but
thank
everyone
you.
should suit up.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Barrett.
Mommy in the building. Dr. Mrs. Sama Olebra.
Oh, to get this number, it's easier to go to Borno than to get
It is hot.
Too much.
All right, carry go.
Dr. Olebra on the line. There is no doubt that our educational system has degenerated and its standard falling so low. And it's a serious matter of concern to everyone because it shows the dangerous direction our educational system is heading to. And if something serious is not done urgently, the consequences will be very calamitous for all of us. If there is any sector of our national development that calls for the best brains, educationists, researchers, and experienced masters, it is education.
It is never a one-man show or a particular administration's policy. These frequent, confusing, and often enduring policies do not help our educational system and future. And we make the students not to take their education and learning seriously. JAMB and the copycat government officials should stop ferrying us into catastrophic changes. Let our educational policies go beyond regime and politics. Students should be admitted into universities based on qualifications, maturity, and a proven test of good conduct or moral behavior. Even if individual universities are allowed to decide for themselves, that will definitely open another gate for bribery and corruption. Finally, we need total overhaul of our educational system, and let all stakeholders in education come together and find a lasting solution to the challenges of education. Thank you, and have a nice
Thank
day.
you very much, Dr. Mrs. Simao Lebra. Okay, winding up now, we have this very, very serious matter, because it is not a kid's glove that you treat issues. We keep treating symptoms, not the real cause of the diseases that we're having. The educational system has gone through a lot of tremendous decline, no doubt about that. The evaluation of teachers is one of the biggest problems. How can you exempt people who want to be teachers from even writing JAMB? So it means the poorest of the poor brains can go there. Instead of, if you cannot pass JAMB, you go to NCE and become a teacher. Somebody who cannot pass JAMB can now become a teacher to teach people. If you can't pass, how can you make somebody pass? You can't give what you don't have. That's exactly what the issue is now. So devaluation of teachers, critics are arguing that exempting education students from UTME, as stated in Nairametrics, will bring in poorly qualified individuals, lowering the overall standard of the teaching profession. If teachers cannot teach very well, what do you think will happen to the students and the pupils? This is exactly where we get it all wrong. Teaching profession should be one of those professions they hold to high esteem. But unfortunately, in fact, even the students themselves, they look down on the teacher, not to talk of the teacher himself. If you're a teacher, you talk to students where papa get money, they look down on you. How much will your salary serve? You know, they won't read your pocket change. It's so wrong. So, the system is completely wrong. So when we keep looking at issues, every education minister wants to bring nonsense and then try to tell us exactly what to do and what not to do and all that crazy. But that's not our problem. Our problem simply is the fact that we get the system completely wrong. It is not how many years you stay. Is it 6,334 or 6,228 or 12 years? It doesn't matter the system. The rot in the education is terrible. We cannot have one education syllabus. We cannot have one textbooks. Every government comes with its own textbook. Go and make arrangement with a publisher. Give them contract to publish. You declare this is the book we give. After 1 year, you change. The parents keep spending money, making unnecessary expenditure. These are all issues bedeviling our education. Teachers should be treated with almost held to the highest esteem, because a good teacher makes a good society. No doubt about that. Anyway, if Barry Cosmos is not a good presenter, you won't be listening to me. If I was a dull and very, very crazy kind of presenter, who will listen to me? That's exactly what a teacher does in the classroom. If a teacher is not very good, the child can never learn anything. That's not... A teacher can make even the dullest of dollars become very bright and intelligent. So without good teachers, how can you get it right in the education? So this is where the problem is. Sending the worst set of people to become teachers and the best set of people to become what? Business administration and the rest of them. Public health, international relations, that makes a lot very easy. So these people will not learn the ethics of teaching. After they read all that one, no job, they'll find themselves in the classroom, only for them to wait for 30 days to collect salary. Copy textbooks and give to the students. You go buy textbook, give Pekin. Teacher will go copy the textbook, give them as notes again. Oh, me tabo. That is where our problem ends. Well, on that note, I'll be leaving you this morning where to ponder about these things, and then we'll begin to find solutions to our educational issues. Otherwise, down, down, down we go. All right, that's the end of our program for today. Bye-bye for now. Up next is the Slim Diva. I use all my time because I take plenty. Now, 1 minute I use come out. See ya tomorrow for another round of Straight Talk. Hope Dawn will be able to join us tomorrow. We pray for her quick recovery. Bye-bye. Barry Cosmos signing out.
Echo FM.
Echo FM 100.7, the fresh news people.
Yesterday, like every other day.